All right, by a show of hands, who has been to our Poetry Slam before? Our baseball, yeah, that's what I like to see. All right, where are my newbies? Oh my,
right.
Yes, all right. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Baseball season is right around the corner. Where are my Twins fans at? All right. Better yet, where are my Saints fans at? All right. We gotta be louder. We're the fun ones, all right? All right, I'm gonna hand the mic over to Michael, since this is his event and he can get started. Oh, I can't really get this stuff. No.
You can hand it to him.
Yeah, I can. There we go.
So welcome everyone to the 5th annual Baseball Poetry Slam. This is Lisa. And, she's back by popular demand. We started this
I was forced.
Anyway, so this all started as...
Harmonies.
No.
What?
Well, we started.
That's where we started.
Yeah. But first Poetry Slam was...
I was there for the first time.
Where? Where was it? Naughty Creek. We were there a couple of years and we came here and we're very appreciative.
Michael's giving an example of how to hold the mic. You want to make sure the mic is close to your mouth. So if you're a hand talker, like Michael, you might want to put it on the stand.
Yeah, and as you can see, I take direction. So, and then...
Closer.
And then I've heard that you should never say "without further ado."
There you go. That's where
So I'm not going to say it. So here it is.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Michael. This is his vision. He put it together. It is a hit year after year because that's why a lot of us keep coming back. So this year we are going to start off like we start off every baseball game with our national anthem. So I believe John is going to sing that for us.
So just to let you know that you can kind of hear my cold, so I'm sorry about that. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, but we cannot forget about our friends to the north. So if you know the Canadian national anthem, do you,
I don't.
yeah?
I don't. No.
All right. Yep, everybody, you stand if you would like to stand for the Canadian national anthem. This is my first time singing an anthem of any kind. So if you know it, please sing along with me. All right. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, Canada, our home and native. we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. All right, let's play ball and read some poetry. All right, we are going to start out with a crowd favorite. Now you'll hear this poem a couple times during the evening, but for the first time it will be performed by our very own Bill. So Bill, your fans are ready for your rendition of Casey at the Bat.
She gets sandwich?
Oh, and hey, Casey's mom, you're on deck.
Bill, you want me to hold your beer?
Sometimes known as Big Beautiful Bill. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. And then when Cooley died at first and Burroughs did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, and the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, toward the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then rose from 5,000 throats, and more there rose a lusty yell. It tumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile with Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt was Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. And then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye. A sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered spear came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood watching it in haughty grandeur there. And close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand. And it's likely they'd have killed him had Casey not raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, strike two. Fraud, cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
And now we're going to find out what Mom has to say about that.
Right.
Hi, son. Give him hell, Mom.
How did you get here? Don't keep an ice on.
This gentleman asked me, forced me to read this. Thank you. I really don't like that poem, Casey at the Bat. It was different for me that day in the bleachers where I sat. So when Casey lost that game, you all commiserated with each other. But you don't know what it's like when people learn you're Casey's mother. Oh, I remember that sunny afternoon of Mudville's championship game. The one a poet wrote about, where my son got all the blame. When I saw him practicing on deck, overconfident, full of pride. He does have a cocky attitude. That's impossible to hide. The score was 4-2. The other team was winning. Even I thought we'd pull it off. And the bottom of the 9th inning. You all know that my boy Casey was Mudville's favorite son. Everyone was expecting he'd come through with that home run. He thought he'd be a hero. He had Flynn and Jimmy on base. But little did he know he was 3 pitches from disgrace. Yes, my kid watched 2 perfect pitches go zinging across the plate. Then chose to swing the next time, but he swung too late. The game was over now, and that was the 3rd out. The fans were devastated and began to boo and shout. Poor Casey was also shocked. He expected that 3-run hit, but the ump called strike 3, and Casey felt like a failure. For weeks after that game, I was sad and hung my head low. I hear the jeers and whispers everywhere that I would go. I avoided stopping for coffee, skipped my daily fix of caffeine. I didn't want to discuss the game. I didn't even want to be seen. So please, no more Casey trash talk, because you and you and you, that fine young baseball player has a mama who loves him too.
All right, we're gonna bring up an OG. Where's my Nelson at? Nelson's going to read an original poem, followed by a story he will perform with Maggie. But first, Nelson, the floor is all yours. And then after Nelson and Maggie, we are going to have Rosie come up and read a poem. So Rosie, if you're out there, you are on deck after Nelson and Maggie. But right now, let's give it up for Nelson.
Thank you. So this is an original poem that I wrote about 3 or 4 years ago. It was when we had the slam at the Naughty Greek. So it's a reprise of the original one, but it's been a few years, so I thought on request I would repeat it. So, excuse me. So when I teach, I usually use a little quote by somebody before my presentation, my lecture, and it could be Gandhi or maybe Abraham Lincoln or Martin Luther King Jr. And but sometimes it's from someone from baseball, Yogi Berra, or it could be from Shakespeare. And sorry, I just had a French fry before. So if you think about it, some of the most quoted people are Shakespeare, of course, and Yogi. So I thought for this poem, what if Yogi and Shakespeare actually had a conversation with each other? So here it goes. First Shakespeare, from Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Yogi, it's like deja vu all over again. Shakespeare, from As You Like It. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their entrances and exits, and one man in his time plays many parts. Yogi, if you don't know where you're going, you might end up someplace else. From Macbeth, life's but a dream, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Yogi, you can observe a lot just by looking. From Richard III, a horse, my kingdom for a horse. Yogi, when you get to the fork in the road, be sure to take it. From The Merchant of Venice, all that glitters is not gold. Yogi, a nickel ain't worth a dime anymore. Shakespeare, from The Twelfth Night. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Yogi, baseball is 90% mental, and the other half is just plain physical. From Henry IV, a man can die but once. Yogi, it ain't over till it's over. From Richard III, now is the winter of our discontent. Yogi, that restaurant is so crowded nobody goes there anymore. From Hamlet, to thine own self be true. From Yogi, I knew that my record would stand until somebody broke it. From Romeo and Juliet, what's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. Yogi, all pitchers are crybabies or liars. From The Tempest, we're such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Yogi, I usually take a nap for 1 hour, from 1 to 4. From Henry IV, the better part of valor is discretion. From Yogi, never answer an anonymous letter. From Hamlet, conscience does make cowards of us all. From Yogi, please cut the pizza into only 6 pieces. I'm not hungry enough for 8. From King Lear, nothing will come of nothing. From Yogi, if the world was perfect, it wouldn't be. From Romeo and Juliet, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Yogi, I wish I had an answer to that question because I'm tired of answering it. Shakespeare, for Sonnet 116, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Yogi, we had deep depth, but the other team was quick, fast, and had good speed. From Julius Caesar, but for my own part, it was all Greek to me. From Yogi, slump? I wasn't in a slump. I just wasn't hitting. When I wasn't hitting, it didn't mean that I couldn't hit. It just meant that I wasn't hitting. I never blame myself for not hitting. I blame the bat. If it keeps up, I change bats. Shakespeare from Hamlet. We know what we are, but we do not know what we may be. Yogi, The future ain't what it used to be. From the 12th night, this is very Midsummer Madness. Yogi, it gets early late out there. Meaning the West Coast. From Richard III, surely we have seen better days. From Yogi, we made too many bad mistakes. From King Lear, I'm more sinned against than sinning. And Yogi said, I never said most of the things I said.
Okay.
Shakespeare.
Too complicated.
Maybe.
So, wait, let's say, Maggie, tell us who you are. How did you get this?
It's magic. Yeah.
That might be what I was saying. It's good, yeah. Away from the speaker.
There we go.
I know Michael and learned of the Poetry Slam because I work for Ascension Catholic Academy, and one of the schools, St. Peter Flavor, is a school that Michael brings all of his students to volunteer at. And I'm a volunteer manager, so I kind of coordinate and wrangle all of them so that they can help out.
So, I guess 2 in a row. Thank you, Maggie, for being part of this. Michael asked us to read this story that actually was told by George Carlin. So if you really want to get the full effect of this the story we're about to tell, YouTube George Carlin, because he's much better at it than I certainly than me, but try to get my best George Carlin impression. And it's about baseball and football. So baseball is very different from any other sport, very different. For instance, in most sports, you score points or goals. In baseball, you score runs. In most sports, the ball, or the object, is put in play by the offensive team. In baseball, the defensive team puts the ball in play. And only the defense is allowed to touch the ball. In fact, in baseball, if an offensive player touches the ball intentionally, he's out. Sometimes, unintentionally, he's also out. Also, in football, basketball, soccer, volleyball, and all other sports played with the ball, you score with the ball. And in baseball, the ball prevents you from scoring. In most sports, the team is run by a coach. In baseball, the team is run by a manager. And only in baseball does a manager or coach wear exactly the same clothing as the players do. And if you ever saw John Madden in an Oakland Raiders uniform, you'd know the reason for this custom. Now I've mentioned football. Baseball and football are the 2 most popular spectator sports in the country. And as such, it seems they ought to be able to tell us something about ourselves and our values. I enjoy comparing baseball and football. Baseball is a 19th century pastoral game.
Football is a 20th century technological struggle.
Baseball is played on a diamond in a park, the baseball park.
Football is played on a gridiron in a stadium, sometimes called Soldier Field or War Memorial Stadium.
Baseball begins in the spring, the season of new life.
Football begins in the fall when everything's dying. In football, you wear a helmet.
In baseball, you wear a cap.
Football is concerned with downs. What down is it?
Baseball is concerned with ups. Who's up?
In football, you receive a penalty.
In baseball, you make an error.
In football, the specialist comes in to kick.
In baseball, the specialist comes in to relieve somebody.
Football has hitting, clipping, spearing, piling on, personal fouls, late hitting, and unnecessary roughness.
Baseball has the sacrifice.
Football is played in any kind of weather. rain, snow, sleet, hail, fog.
In baseball, if it rains, we don't go out to play. Baseball also has the 7th inning stretch.
Football has the 2-minute warning.
Baseball has no time limit. We don't know when it's going to end. It might go into many extra innings.
Football is rigidly timed, and it will end even if we've got to go to sudden death.
In baseball, during the game, in the stands, there's a kind of picnic feeling. Emotions may run high or low, but there's really not much unpleasantness.
In football, during a game in the stands, you can be sure that at least 27 times you're capable of taking the life of a fellow human being. And finally, the objective of the two games are completely different. In football, the objective is for the quarterback, often known as the field general, to be on target with his aerial assaults, riddling the defense by hitting his receivers with deadly accuracy in spite of the blitz, even if he has to use a shotgun. With short bullet passes and long bombs, he marches his troops into enemy territory, balancing his aerial assault with a sustained ground attack that punches holes in the forward wall of the enemy's defense line.
In baseball, the overall object is to go home and to be safe. I hope to be safe at home.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you, Maggie, for everything that you do for Ascension. All right, Rosie. Rosie, you are up. And here she comes. On another oldie but goodie, and I mean it sincerely, is up next with an original poem, and that's you, Jay, so get ready. You're on deck.
Okay, this poem is called Analysis of Baseball by Mae Swenson. It's about the ball, the bat and the mitt. Ball hits bat, or it hits mitt. Bat doesn't hit ball. Bat meets it. Ball bounces off bat, flies air, or thuds ground dud, or it fits mitt. Bat waits for ball to mate. Ball hates to take bat's bait. Ball flirts, but bat's late. Don't keep the date. Ball goes in thwack to mitt, ball goes out thwack back to mitt. Ball fits mitt, but not all the time. Sometimes ball gets hit, how? When bat meets it and sails to a place where mitt has to quit in disgrace. That's about the bases loaded, about 40,000 fans exploded. It's about the ball, the bat, the mitt, the bases, and the fans. It's done on the diamonds, and for fun, it's about home, and it's about run.
All right, next we're going to bring up Jay with an original poem, and on deck we have some more Little Leaguers. So, Lucy and Winnie, get ready, because you're up next.
Hello. My poem is called Is It Just a Dream? 162 games to come, a championship run? Wouldn't that be fun? Is it just a dream? Hit, run, bunt, and steal. Does small ball have appeal? A win streak causes fans to squeal. Are dollar dogs a meal? Is it just a dream? It's July and the team is humming. Our bats are stunning. Coach's strategy is cunning. I'm in the bleachers sunning. Is it just a dream? Season end is near. Our pitchers, batters fear. We shift into high gear. Wish I could afford a ballpark beer. Twins win the division. Yeah, well, let me go on. Division series we are winning. Bullpen comes through in late innings. Our manager is grinning. In nacho cheese, chips are swimming. Twins win division series in 4. Play time down here. Fans had a dream. GM had a scheme. Yum, helmet full of ice cream. As improbable as it seems, Twins win the pennant in 5. Falling leaves or snow have greater appeal when in October we're on the field. Fans cheering with zeal. Can they seal the deal? Vinny and Paul smile in center field. Twins win the World Series in 6 or 7. Little Bo Peep, counting sheep. Beep, beep, beep. Was I asleep? Oh, it's just a dream.
All right, next we're gonna do a little sing-along. Meredith, it's your time to shine. Come on up here. Michael, are you coming up? Sure. This is all his idea. All right, so if you want to do your little 7th inning stretch yourself and stand up, we are going to sing all together. Take me out to the ball game. All right. All right, is everyone ready? We know the words. There, come on, get in here. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right. All right. Well, we are going to move on with Jim really quick. So Jim has a story to tell all of us. And while Jim is telling that story, if I can have all the kids come back up. So as soon as Jim is done, we're going to get a quick picture with all of you. So Jim, where are you? There you are. Jim is going to wow us with a story. And again, if all the kids that participated can come over to the side over here and be on deck for a picture, that would be great.
Let's go. Come on, Jeff.
All right. This is an excerpt of the lyrics of a song from the 1958 film version of the musical Damn Yankees. Although the play's name specifically calls out the Yankees, the sentiments of the musical are applicable to other teams and fan experiences as well. I have fond memories of seeing the stage play in the spring of 1974 on a family trip to Chicago, which starred Gwen Verdon's Dancing and Singing.
Yes.
The story centers around Joe Hardy, a middle-aged baseball fan who wishes to see his struggling team, the Washington Senators, beat the Yankees, a team that once won the World Series in 6 of the 10 years in the 1950s. In a Faustian's twist, Joe Hardy makes a pact with the devilish Mr. Applegate, played by Ray Walston, who won a Tony Award for this role in the 1955 stage play that spawned the movie. Applegate offers Joe the chance to become a youthful long ball hitter superstar. However, Harvey faces the challenge of returning to his real life by the end of the last game, or risk losing his soul forever. These are lyrics from a pep talk given by the Senators' team manager before Joe Hardy arrives to play on the team. I feel these encouragements still work for many teams and fans. You gotta have heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. You've gotta have hope. All you really mustn't sit around and mope. Mustn't sit around and mope. Nothing's half as bad as it may appear. Wait till next year and hope. When your luck is batting zero, get your chin up off the floor. Mister, you can be a hero. You can open any door. There's nothing to it but to do it. You gotta have heart. Miles and miles and miles of heart. Oh, it's fine to be a genius, of course. But keep that old horse before the cart. First, you've gotta have heart. A great slugger we haven't got, a great pitcher we haven't got, a great ball club we haven't got. What have we got? We got a heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. We don't sit, we got hope. We don't sit around and mope. Not a solitary sob do we heave, mister, because we've got hope. We're so happy that we're humming. That's the hearty thing to do. Because we know our ship will come in, so it's 10 years overdue. So what the heck's the use of cry? Why should we curse? We've got to get better, because we can't get worse. We've got heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. We're so happy that we're laughing. That's the harder thing to do. So we ain't been autographing, except to sign an IOU. We've got heart, miles and miles and miles of heart. Who minds those pop balls flying, those hisses and the boos? The team has been consistent. Yeah, we always lose. But we're laughing because we got heart. Go Twins, go Saints.
That is actually one of my favorite musicals, so if you have never seen it, I highly suggest checking out probably TMC Classics at this point. But all right, we're gonna bring the kids up for a quick picture, and then, because some of them might have to leave. And then after that, we are going to have Mark come up and read a poem, followed by Zoe, and then followed by Phil. So Mark, Zoe, Phil, get ready. Mark, you get ready quicker. All right, kids, come on up. Take a quick photo. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves.
Right. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Let me get you one more.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
All right, where's Mark at? Right here. Come on up, Mark. You're next. We're gonna take an intermission in about 15 minutes, maybe less. We'll see how it goes. So just a heads up, that is when you'll be able to get another drink and use the restroom. Whichever one you want to use.
too sharp.
It'll work. It'll work.
Okay. By the way, I love your no pepper games on the wall, but you should put up the exchange rate when you get to be my age. 5 minutes of pepper equals 1 hour on the chiropractic table. Yeah, guys are nodding. This is an original poem entitled High Church of Baseball. The first time you arrived solemnly, awed by the spectacle, blissfully confused as to the meaning of it all. Eventually, you were confirmed in mystical faith, wide-eyed youth, impressed with the spiritual pageantry of the opening homily, crowd initially vibrant, then bowed in reverence, people singing along with the opening hymn of allegiance, many even knowing the words. From your first opening day, you were given all the answers, yet told to find your own way. So you tried discernment, unsure, unwavering, a loyal, true believer, even those days when you struck out. Still, there were often far more questions than answers. Then came that one still sweetly recalled summer, you prayerfully answered the call, took final vows, and in 7, won it all. Long ordained, now consecrated regular, stately, charismatic, colorful garments, sweat-blotched, brimmed woolen mitre, presiding from sun-soaked box pew as lead player provocateur, sitting, standing, exultantly chanting, Hallelujah! Loosely translated, not from the Latin. Plastic chalice, communion potable, ice cold, Eucharistic celebration by intention, steamy, condiment-slathered tubular sustenance, unity bread feeding heart, soul, head. Pipe organ crescendos punctuate the liturgy opportunistically, crowd alternately stands in joyful anticipation, sits back down in veneration. Ritualistic, solemn, sacramental, reverential. Exuberance reverberating long after the final out. Life itself, a true metaphor for baseball. Play ball, amen.
All right, we have a little change. We're gonna bring Zoe up, and then following Zoe, we are going to bring up Matthew. And following Matthew, we are going to bring up Daniel. So, and then we will break soon, and then Jay will have a fun little game for everybody, and then we will break. So, everybody, give it up for one of our first timers, Zoe!
Well, I'm a student at St. Thomas, and last semester I had the privilege of being Professor Amandi's student, so I'm happy to be here by force, actually. So. Common denominator right here. So. And the poem he gave me has already been read, so...
It's all right. It's your turn.
Part 2. I hope you guys are excited. Okay. It's about the ball, the bat, and the mitt. Ball hits bat, or it hits mitt. Bat doesn't hit ball, bat meets it. Ball bounces off bat, flies air or thuds ground, or it fits mitt. Bat waits for ball to mate. Ball hates to take bat's bait. Ball flirts, bat's late, don't keep the date. Ball goes on, swack, to the mitt, and goes out, swack, back to the mitt. Ball fits mitt, but not all the time. Sometimes ball gets hit, pow, when bat meets it and sails to a place where mitt has to quit in disgrace. That's about the bases loaded. About 40,000 fans exploded. It's about the ball, the bat, the mitt, the bases, and the fans. It's done on a diamond and for fun. It's about home, and it's about run. You have taught them well. All right, let's bring up Matthew. I'm guessing another student. All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew. When I was little, baseball to me was just getting ice cream whenever we went to the game. That's all I really cared about. But then taking Professor Monty's class, I started to see kind of the hidden beauty behind the game. So that I know is there now. So I think this poem is about a pitcher making a mistake and then how you can apply it, how he has to let it go to life. So here we go. Even before the batter's hips twitch, before the bat's whirled and the crack jumpstarts the crowd, he knows the only one in the stadium whose back is to the ball, arcing up and out. He gives that unmistakable, grudging look, classic as the batter's swing. Up only so far as his forward stance allows, and then down into the hand that betrayed him. All he wants is the unscarred ball back in his mitt, as he wants to retrieve our wild words, the inside hurt, truth hurled so cleanly down the middle, it can't be missed. Like the pitcher wintering his air, we run out our lingering grudges, shout to moving air, walk over chittering leaves to stand, scuffing dirt, in front of worlds we imagine entering. We wait there for something to turn us around, a familiar sign, a sound, something in the knowing when it's safe to let go and go home.
And our final student coming to the mic. I believe we have Daniel. All right, and then following Daniel, we're gonna bring Jay up, who has a fun little game for everyone. All right, come on up. And then Daniel, can you just give us a little blurb of this class? Did you call him Monty?
I'm not in the class, actually.
Oh, well, this is awkward. Do you know about the class?
No, so...
Improv.
Yeah, so Zoe invited me, and I thought, how often do you get invited to a baseball poetry slam? Once a year.
All right. He doesn't even need the mic. All right. Well, we'll find out more about this class later.
All right, hello everybody. This poem is called Baseball Fields Seen from the Air. In the absolute panic of landing, these are the best of all possible signs. Their sandy fans unfold below. Home is the hub of that sweet green breeze. High in the sky, high of the irrefutable earth, each field is a thick, delicious slice. A little league park that's a red clay scar. A minor league field with mange. A major league stadium's emerald diamonds set in a golden scallop shell. They all broadcast the same welcome message. V for victory, peace be with you. What crop could grow in such peculiar fields? What silt-rich rivers left such deltas? The plain's loud shadow haunts the waiting game. There's a sudden sound that will release us. Each field is a clock where time has stopped. Fair hands frozen at the quarter hour.
All right, and then taking us into our intermission, we have Jay. We're gonna bring him back up here. He's a student of life. All right. Do you need us to pass those out?
Well, let me challenge you. Mr. Ramondi is my favorite teacher ever. I think you should all go online and what's that called? Favorite teachers or something. Rate my teacher. Yes, he's the best ever. Best ever. All right, I'll put my wallet out here. Okay. So we're gonna just do it. It's kind of a little game. We'll do it on each table. It's called
choose a mic.
Thank you. I choose that mic. All right. It's called a jumble. If many of you may have seen it before, there's kind of 4 words that are kind of jumbled up. There you go, jumble. Thank you, Lisa. And then there's kind of a cartoon that sort of gives you a hint to what the clue is, what the final answer is. If you have any questions, I'll be sitting at this table in kind of the center here. We're doing it for fun. At the end, we'll just kind of compare notes and see how people did, and if you had any fun with it, then maybe we'll do it again, or we'll try something different next year.
All right, we're gonna pass the jumble around, but this is our 15-minute intermission. Stretch, go to the bathroom, get a drink, tip the waiters. But yeah, so we'll see you back here. Oh, look at that, right at 7:15. We'll see you back here at 7:30. All right, if we can have everybody take your seats. We're gonna get started here in just a minute, maybe less. We'll let you do the jumble a little bit more as the show goes on, and we'll bring Jay up for the answers during Act 2. All right. While everybody is finding their seats, Monty is going to talk about pepper.
I just echo that.
All right. So if everybody can take their seats and give Michael their attention, he's going to give us a little backstory on pepper.
So, Jim. So, who wants to talk about pepper? Are you having enough spice in your food? Okay, well, should somebody talk about what pepper is? Why are there no pepper games? That's stray balls. What? Stray balls. There's stray balls. From where? Off a bat, yes. Where's the batter standing? On his feet. Very good. Keep going. Feet on the ground, yes. Foul territory. Could be in foul. It could be close to the stands, right? What third base? Could be first base too, right? Yes. We got that cleared up. All right. Now, how many people here believe that they could swim across the Strait of Hormuz? Now those ladies back there, they claim that in case you need it, they'll be there for you. In the current situation, yeah. Well, anyway, I guess, are we having a good time? All right.
All right. So I am going to give you a little insight on something you might not know about. So I had the privilege of seeing an early viewing of a film called See Her, Be Her. It's by Jane Fruth, and it features, I don't know, her name is Kelsey Whitmore. She played in the minor leagues for the Oakland Athletics, a phenomenal pitcher. But the documentary in itself is all about women's baseball and how big it's becoming. And so I would be remiss if I didn't share some of the things that I learned from that documentary. I encourage everyone to look it up. It's called See Her, Be Here, Be Her. It spans the world of women's baseball. It's incredible, the artistry, the pictures, everything, the stories. And I was pleasantly surprised that one of my favorite baseball players, Cal Ripken Jr., spoke within the film, and he also lends his voice to the introduction of the book that goes along with it, because he said his sister Ellie is one reason you don't have to convince him that women have a place in baseball. And he goes on to talk about a story, and I'll just go ahead and read it. It's not too long, I promise. And this is the words of Cal Ripken Jr., my favorite, even though I'm a Tigers fan. Sorry. Don't know if anybody here knew that. Go Twins. All right. As I came to learn, Lou Gehrig, the Hall of Famer, with whom I'm often linked because of our consecutive game streaks, had his eyes opened by a female baseball player. Her name was Jackie Mitchell, and she was a 17-year-old left-hander from Memphis who had been tutored by her neighbor, Hall of Famer Dazzy Vance. The owner of the Chattanooga Lookouts, Joe Engel, signed her in the spring of 1931, just before the New York Yankees arrived in Chattanooga to play 2 exhibition games on their way north from spring training. A crowd of 4,000 and a swarm of journalists came out for the first game to see her pitch. After the Lookouts' starting pitcher gave up hits to the first 2 Yankees, she was brought in the game to face Babe Ruth.
Wait, what?
Throwing a sidearm, her first pitch to him was a ball, but the second was a sinker that Ruth swung over. He missed the next one too, and with the count at 1-2, she caught the outside corner for a called strike 3. Ruth flung his bat down in frustration. Then up came Gehrig. He would bat a .341 that season, but on this day, April 2nd, 1931, he swung and missed at all 3 of her pitches. Yeah, right? Pretty cool. There's this great picture of the 2 of them, Ruth and Gehrig, watching Jackie warm up the next day, and you could sense a mixture of surprise and admiration on their faces. Historians debate to this day whether or not the 2 greats purposely struck out, but knowing what I do about professional baseball and athletes, I can't imagine them looking foolish as an act. Right. So women really do have a place in baseball. And in the movie they talk about, well, women can play softball, but they also talk about any woman who enjoys playing the game of baseball knows softball exists. They choose to play baseball. Another person that talks in the movie is Billie Jean King. And this is where I will leave you, if I can find that page. My bad. She goes up, as you know, she has helped get the PWHL, the Women's Hockey League, off the ground. Oh, I had it bookmarked, but it fell out. Hold on. Thank you. All right. I found it, don't worry. I think I did anyway. And I will leave this book out, so if people want to look at it, it's quite incredible. Here it is. And what she says, what I see happening in women's sports today is amazing, and I have waited my whole life for this moment. Caitlin Clark has changed basketball. Women's professional hockey now has the PWHL, a league with the best players in the world on the ice. Women's sports are now seen as an investment and not a charity. So, to Kelsey Whitmore and all the other women fulfilling their dreams of playing baseball, the same dream I had as a child, I want to shout yes, and keep going for it, because we are not done yet. So again, we are here to celebrate baseball, which is typically dominated by men, but just wait, the women are coming. And with that, I'm going to bring up Jim to tell a story. He was waiting in the wings, or did he already go? Oh no, I'm sorry, Phil. We're bringing up Phil next, followed by Roberta, followed by Jonathan. So we have Phil up next to tell a story. We have Roberta next, and then on deck, Jonathan.
It's good. Mess. Just things like.
Oh, he's got a bag.
This is my prop bag. A little smaller than years past.
So, I must use here. So, bring most when it's the last doll. Oh, yeah, geez. So,
So I was gonna wear this, but my mom said no hats indoors. And I have to attribute this poem to the blizzard of Saturday. Yeah. Secondly, to my 6th grade English teacher, Sister Albertine, and she would go, "Oh, such a nice boy." Little did she know. Okay, this is about good one, based estimate. About our Minnesota Twins, and the title is Minnesota Twins, the Boys of Summer. Oh, how winter fades, spring is taken on its grip. Summer is soon to follow. Baseball is in the air. The boys of summer start to sprout. The Minnesota Twins will bloom again. Twins of old make way for the new names, such as Tony O, Earl Batty, Rich Rollins, Caesar Tovar, Bobby Allison, Zoila Versailles, Mudcat Grant, Jim Cott, Camilo Pasquale, Don Mincher. What names these were? These boys of summer took us far. 65 was their year. Young boys on the playground listened. Transistor radios were on. Hopes were high. Calvin Griffith steered the ship. Halsey Hall, Herb Carneal, Ray Scott, announcers of legend. Many a story came out of their booth. Cigars starting fires, comments not censored. Hams to be refreshing. Peter's Wieners, Midwest Federal, the good tree to come to for shelter. Ah, those were the days. Young boys with Twins Letterman's jackets. Kids in 4-H softball making remarks as the TC stands for toilet cleaners. Oh, they went far that year. Grandpa listened intently to the car radio. Family gatherings took second seat. Hopes were high, close, but no cigar. Time passed, a new era had begun. Carl at the helm. Another era for the boys of summer, 87 and 91. They are memorable. Herb and John announced those summers God was on our side. Names such as Kirby, Kent, Gary, Tim, Bert, Frank, Jack, Roy, Chuck, Gene. Twinkies were popular, Homer hankies abound. The series went the distance. Pride and joy abounded. They took the big show. Parades to celebrate. Ah, those were the days. Life has challenges, ups and downs, conflicts, resolution. Who would have thought a team from DC planted in a field in Bloomington, Minnesota could have such an effect? There is a constant that keeps us grounded. Minnesota Twins, our boys of summer, apple pie, and baseball. So I grew up on the farm, and not that we don't support the Twins, but we don't want to get our shirts dirty.
All right, Roberta, you're up while we're fixing the mic. And then we have Jonathan on deck. Okay.
I think so. That sounds okay, huh? Yeah, hey. Yeah, I was walking past Dunn Brothers yesterday and some guy says to me, hey, you guys like baseball? And I was wearing his baseball shirt. And of course we do. Hey, come to this poetry slam. Really? Okay, I'll read my poems. I really like it. Yeah, what do you think those guys were? That was a lot of fun. So I want to dedicate this. My name's Roberta. I live in St. Paul. I grew up in western Minnesota, Renville, this little baby town. Yeah, you know Renville?
I do.
Well, we're talking later.
Bird Island.
Yeah, Bird Island. Oh, well, you're okay. So here's the thing. My dad loved baseball. He was thrilled about 1965. So that was really sweet to hear you telling about that. Yeah, it's still close to my heart. The man who really got me into baseball is Ray Olson. He's sitting right over there trying to take a picture of me. So Ray got our whole family into it, and our kid had a lot of fun with baseball, softball, t-ball, whatever. I wrote a poem called On the Babe Ruth Field. I wrote this, I was inspired when we learned for the first time that the Ford plant was going to go under and sell their land, and we were like, oh my God, the Babe Ruth Field's a little league field, so what are we going to do? And so we were filled with trepidation, and it's turned out okay. They kept the little league fields. So I wrote this way back in 2007, on the Babe Ruth Field. And I'm a mom, okay, so my boy was playing on Babe Ruth. Relief for the safe or the down of the out. When the ump makes the call, see him dive, what a catch, what a thrill. Seeds and drinks and ice set the stage, trash bins overflow, hot dogs, stubs, candy packages, hot, dusty breeze. Sticks to your sweaty arms. Nice to just allow the dirt to be on my face. A few hours of respite from the neurotic pace. Just transit the problems that hang in our minds. This food for our hearts. We won't mind the bleachers, the blistering sun, kind of like baby spit up you get from this one. We won't mind the bleachers, the blistering sun, I already read that. It's really kind of like the spit up you get from this one. Grandmas and grandpas come to cheer on. Don't mind the hard paint, peely bleachers and suns and staring into the sun. The look up to first, the wind up, the pitch, the lead off, he's ready, awaiting his turn for a moment to snatch third. That's it, he goes, flies like the wind. Excited yells and dads jump, teenage boys jumping and yelling, screaming all kinds of things. You want to see that sometimes, to break their pace down those halls of school days. The anticipation of coach is high. Any nerves about errors kept at bay. Now here comes my Bubba, my boy, my young man, stepping up to the plate. His whole life ahead of him. Batter up.
Great, and that was an original, so give it up to Roberta. All right, Jonathan, you ready? Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm Jonathan Nye, and I'm not really a great baseball fan. And in fact, my brother David over here takes me to one game a year. I get in for free. That's my one time I watch the Twins. So I try to keep up and find out what's going on. But you know what? The two guys that take me out to the ball game had never been to a baseball game when they wrote that song. So this is called 1974 and 1975. In 1974, I was 26 years old, and I think I like baseball a lot. But I think our state was a little bit behind. women played baseball in the 1930s, as we heard earlier. But on December 26, 1974, Title IX of the 1972 Education Act was finally signed, providing for equal opportunity in athletics for girls and boys. So that's one of my poems. The year was 1974 when little leaguers learned to score. President Ford took out his pen and signed a law that said from then on, women too would have the chance to wear the stripes and wear the pants. Now what you hear as flags unfurl is attaboy and attagirl. Pretty good. And just 1 year later, Julio was born. Now you might not know Julio Lugo, but he was born in 1975. He was only 24 years when he started with the Houston Astros, and he played for 11 long years with 7 different teams. Had a batting average of .269, 80 home runs, and 475 RBIs. He was pretty popular, and especially with the Boston Red Sox, and this poem is about the Boston Red Sox. That's why we're here, said Julio Lugo to the Globe. Sox fans booed poor Lugo, booed his at-bat after he dropped the ball in the pivotal 5th. That ball, I got to it, I just couldn't come up with it. Lugo wants you to know he is fast. A slower player would even get close enough to get booed. Lugo wants you to know he's only human. We're human beings, that's why we're here. If not, I would have wings. I'd be beside God right now. I'd be an angel, but I'm not an angel. Next day, all is forgiven. Lugo's home run. Lugo's sweet comment to the press. I wanted to make a poster like the ones they say, it's my birthday, or first time at Fenway, or pathetic ESPN, poster board, permanent marker to say, Lugo, me too. I'm a human being that lives right here. Decided it's too esoteric, too ephemeral of a reference, but it's true. Oh, Lugo, Julio Lugo, I'm here with you.
That was wonderful. Everyone has been so wonderful. Give yourselves a round of applause so far. This is, I mean, I've done about 4 of these, and this has been one of the most epic ones yet. So this next person I'm going to bring up, some of you may know that I'm very fond and very close to a certain person that is at almost every baseball game. And last year, I wrote a poem that is from a different person's point of view of Casey at the bat, much like his mom. So I'm going to bring up one of my good friends. She's a speech and debate teacher, so she will not disappoint me, and I'm so excited she's here. I cornered her in the parking lot and was like, what are you doing here? She's like, what are you doing here? I'm here for a baseball slam. She's like, I'm in. It was kismet. So please give it up for my friend Bailey.
Well, Lisa just told you everything. She literally saw me in the parking lot and was like, what are you doing here? Drinking beer? She's like, hey, you like baseball? Yep. I wish I was wearing a baseball shirt though. So anyway, I'm gonna read Lisa's poem for her. So she wrote this, give her all of the credit. I'll just read it. Shout out Eric in the back, who I forced to come here today. All right. The first pitch, Casey watched it. Ball, the umpire's cries. I danced a little dance while the sweat ran in my eyes. The second pitch came in blazing, but Casey watched it too. I pantomimed, oh man, oh shucks, and scuffed my giant shoe. Strike one, the crowd all groaned. They were feeling kind of tense. I mimed a prayer to heaven just as strike two hit the fence. The third pitch came, the final strike, the home team did not win. Casey, the pride of Mudville, let the mascot down again.
I like mascots.
like I said, you could say I'm pretty close to some of them.
All right, next we have Shirley. And following Shirley, we're going to have a song by Laura and Walsh.
I'm using your last name because it sounds good.
And then we're going to start wrapping it up. After the song, we have Lynn, followed by Marilee,
Who has something fun up her sleeve.
and then we're going to close the night with Nelson one more time. If you are planning on reading a poem and your name is not on this list, we have Shirley, Laura, Lynn, Marilee, and Nelson. Feel free to come up to the table. We have lots of sign-ups going around. So if you're not on that list and you still want to read, there's still time, come on up. And without, I'm not going to say it, without any hesitation, let's give it up for Shirley.
Hello. I did have it, well, this is my first slam. And Mike said, do you want to read a poem? And so he sent me a poem. And I said, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to read it off of my phone. And he said, well, a person could expand it, blow it up, so you could read it. So that's what I've done. That's what I've done. Thank you, Mike. Okay. So this is a poem. It's called How to Sacrifice by Nick Cochran. Pivot in the box, square up, surrender to the pitcher. Slide your top hand up the barrel. Don't squeeze. Keep your hands soft. Bend your knees. You need to keep your balance. Let the ball come to you. Be patient. Don't stab at it. Point your bat. Absorb the shock and hope the ball stays fair. Afterwards, expect no high fives, no headlights, no contract extensions. No one bunts himself onto an all-star. You do it because that runner on first, he needs to come home. He's your teammate. He's your brother. He's your son. And you're the guy who still knows how to lay one down.
All right, are we ready for some music? All right, come on up. Sing us a song.
All right.
You're not the piano man, but you are a guitar man.
See what I did there?
Michael just groaned.
I said sharp. What? You said what else is coming?
Nice.
And Lynn, you are on deck.
What's it?
So this song started as a 1960s rock song, and in 1989 it became synonymous with baseball after being featured in the movie Major League. It was the entrance song for a pitcher. So I was introduced to it in 1994. It was the centerpiece to my brother's 8th birthday. We took all the boys to the movie theater to see Major League, the sequel too. And Billy John?
Whenever you are. So I should start. Right, son? Okay. Okay.
Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Wild thing.
Wild thing, I think I knows.
Well, I wanna know for sure.
You got it. Come on and hold me tight. I love
Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything
Groovy. Wild thing.
more time through. Hey.
Wild thing, I think you moved me. But I want to know for sure. I'm calling old times. You owe me.
Oh. Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything go bad. Wild thing. Thank you very much.
See, you have to put that too. I sure, I know.
I bet.
All right, let's give it up for them again. Woo! I'm sure you have a few more songs in your pocket if you wanted to play us out tonight. All right, where's Lynn? All right, Lynn, take it away.
Okay, that was this song. You okay? How's this, better? Okay. So I'm a rookie at this. By way of introduction, I'm a longtime colleague of Michael's at the University of St. Thomas, albeit I'm in the business school and he's in the English department. And this is the fourth slam I've attended, and the first time in front of the mic. Thank you. When Michael invited me to come, I wasn't quite sure which baseball I had to wear, so I brought this one in honor of last weekend. But I think I prefer this one. Cool. Anybody wants a Floyd R. Turbo hat? So I've been a lifelong baseball fan. Grew up in central Wisconsin. And I was a Milwaukee Braves fan as a young boy until those traders moved to Atlanta in 1965. So names like Warren Spahn and Del Crandall still resonate with me. Then, 4 years later, the Milwaukee Brewers came about, and a few guys like Robin Young and I think a St. Paul kid by the name of Paul Molitor made a splash. So I became a Brewers fan until we moved to Minnesota in 1983. And I had the honor of attending one of the games where the Twins in '87 beat Lisa's favorite team, Detroit, at the Metrodome. That was pretty fun. Yeah. So guys like Herbeck, St. Paul boys like Herbeck and Morris and Maurer, those are names that sustain us all. This poem is written by Stuart Dybeck, and I'm reading it in honor of my son, who's now a city council member in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, for a long time. But he became a Cubs fan when he was 10 years old because we got cable TV, and WGN was on cable TV. So the only Cubs game I've ever been to was with him on Sammy Sosa Day when they beat the Yankees. So here it is. It's called Clothespins. So I'd like you to think about a summer, and it's getting late in the afternoon, summer day, and there's a boy in his backyard. I once hit clothespins for the Chicago Cubs. I'd go out after supper when the wash was in and collect clothespins from under 4 stories of clothesline. A swing and a miss was a strikeout. The garage roof, Willie Mays. Pounding his mitt under a pop fly. Bushes,
That was a double. Off the fence, a triple. And over, a home run. The bleachers roared. It was all they ever needed for the flag. New records every game. Once, 10 homers in a row. But sometimes I'd tag them so hard, they'd explode. Legs flying apart in midair. Pieces spinning crazily in all directions. All ball. What else could I call it? The bat was real.
I love how many first timers we've had here. It just makes me so happy. This event has grown year after year, so thank you all for coming out. Keep spreading the word, keep bringing your friends, encourage them to perform. Next we have another person that's performed here once or twice. So Marilee. Where is she? Oh, there you are. All right, Marilee has something fun for us, so I'm gonna let her take it away.
I have some jokes for you. Why don't baseball players join unions? Because they can't stand the strikes. Did you hear the joke about the pop fly? Don't worry, it's over your head. Why was baseball glove loving the summer Florida weather? He kept catching the rains. No. Why did the baseball player join the music band? Because he had perfect pitch. Why did the designated hitter become a baker? He was always batter up. Why did the scarecrow become a baseball player? He was outstanding in his field. Why did the pitcher go to jail? He had a killer fastball. How is a bad baseball player like a blanket? They both make good bench warmers. What did the baseball glove say to the ball? Catch you later. Why are some umpires fat? Because they always clean their plate. Why do hitters hate curvy roads? Because they prefer line drives. What is a home run hitter's favorite type of music? Swing. Why did the baseball player become a jeweler? He was great around diamonds. What is the baseball player's least favorite Star Wars movie? The Empire Strikes Back. What are the rules in zebra baseball? 3 stripes and you're out. I gave my friend some baseball cards, but he told me, hey man, I can't read. I said, that's okay, you can still look at the pictures. What position did the Kool-Aid man play? Relief pitcher. One morning in an elementary school, the kids were sitting in geography class. The teacher decided to quiz them on their knowledge of cities and states. The teacher says, does anyone know where Pittsburgh is? Billy raised his hand and says, Pennsylvania. Teacher said, very good, Billy. Can anyone tell me where Detroit is? Susie raises her hand and said, that's in Michigan. The teacher says, very good. Now the teacher wanted to give them a little challenge, so she said, okay, who can tell me where Kansas City is? Tommy raises his hand and waves and says, I know. Okay, Tommy, where's Kansas City? In last place.
Always.
Okay. A guy and his dog sit down at the bar. He orders a beer and drinks it, and he orders another. And the dog sits patiently at his feet. When it comes time for the guy to pay, he looks at the barman and says, I'm afraid I don't have any money. The barman is about to kick this guy out when the guy says, but I have something even better. I have a magical dog. He can talk. This is a new one for the barman. Though he's skeptical, he decides to give the guy a chance. Okay, let's see. The guy turns to the dog and says, okay, Rover, describe sandpaper. Like what? The barman's not amused, but the guy is more in store. He looks at the dog and says, Rover, what's on top of the house? Roof, roof. That's it, said the barman. What do you take me for? Get out of my bar. Wait. Give me one more chance. You won't be disappointed. The barman sighs and rolls his eyes, but gestures for the man to go ahead. The guy turns to the dog and says, Rover, this is our last chance. Do your old master proud. Now tell the man, who was the greatest baseball player who ever lived? The dog wags his tail and says, Roof, roof. It was the last straw. The barman drags the guy to the door and dumps him on the curb, with the dog following. The barman goes back in the bar, shaking his head in disgust. Rover sighs, looks at the guy and says, do you think he should have said DiMaggio? Okay, one more. The New York Philharmonic was doing a performance of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony as conducted by Count Hermann Malonat. After the first movement finished up, some of the orchestra sneaked off stage because they weren't needed till later in the symphony. Chief among them were the basses, who were going next door to play. Going to play toward the end of the movement. Basses being bassists, one of them had the bright idea to go to the bar next door and get a couple of drinks early. It's not long before the basses are completely drunk. But at that time, one of them looks at his watch and realizes they've been in the bar for quite some time and the finale should be starting, if it hasn't already. They rouse the group and try to drag them back to the concert hall. But unfortunately, two of them are already so intoxicated, there's no hope of them getting back and being able to perform at the standards required. There's a bit of consternation as some of the members don't think they'd be able to return in time to meet their entrance. Luckily, the keen bassist who had suggested sneaking out in the first place piped up. I've done this before, so I have a little trick. During the intermission, I put a little knot on the pages before our entrance, so the conductor will have to spend some time getting that fitted out to give us a couple more seconds. So as expected, the bassists drunkenly hobble back on stage, and they hear right before their entrance, and the knot is giving Malonat trouble, who knows exactly what happened. From the audience, someone sees the basses moving in and also figures out what's going on. They whisper over to their neighbor, hey, pay attention, this is the most exciting part. What? Why do you say that? It's the bottom of the ninth, the bases are loaded, 2 out, and the score is tied, and the count is full.
All right. Before we close out with Nelson, we have one more person that would like to come up. So just like extra innings and you get free baseball, now Mark is giving you free art. So come on up and take it away. Oh, also, sorry, my bad. This is last call. So if you want one more drink before you take off, please head to the bar now. I will be. And yeah, so please give it up for our wonderful bartender who is clearing the tables right now. We do not make her job easy, but she makes it look easy. So make sure you tip her well. And again, it's last call.
Well, Nelson earlier described in his earlier piece some witticisms by Yogi Berra compared against Shakespeare's Hamlet. He missed a few that I wanted to follow up on because Yogi had a lot of yogiisms, as he recalled. So I got 3. And instead of comparing against Shakespeare, I want to compare him against Michaelisms. They're well-intended, they really are. So one of the yogiisms was, if the people don't come out to the ballpark, nobody's going to stop them. If the people don't want to come to a baseball poetry slam, let Michael recruit them. Yogiism, pair up in 3s. Michaelism, pair up with Michael and like loaves and fishes, 110. Yogiism. You should always go to other people's funerals. Otherwise, they won't come to yours. You should always go to a baseball poetry slam. Otherwise, Michael will sign you up to go to other people's funerals who you don't know.
That'll be done.
Over here, Nelson.
All right, how many? Oh, Nelson, where?
Yeah, Nelson. Unless it's
This is
able to come out and give us the answers to the jumble.
This is hard to believe. Nelson, you have one more?
Only if you want me to.
Nelson has 5 more. We're only going to let him do 1 more.
As long as it's
Yes. We're letting you bring it home because you never disappoint. You have earned this honor to be our final performer of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Nelson.
Well, believe it or not, I was hesitant to come up another time. However, this is a special tribute to Michael. So I wanted this to be at the end, so we could give him a little special, because he's a Chicago Cubs fan. And I've known that since I met Michael. And just a little special poem about the Chicago Cubs. So in 1907 is when they won their World Series, just before the last one, which was 2016. So it was 100 years since they had won the World Series. But in that one, in 1907, it was a famous trio that had this remarkable ability to pull a double play. So they had the shortstop was Joe Tinker, and the second baseman was Johnny Evers, and the first baseman was Frank Chance. So this poem is called Tinker to Evers to Chance. These are the saddest of all possible words, Tinker to Evers to Chance. A trio of bear cubs and fleeter than birds, Tinker and Evans and Chance. Ruthlessly pricking our gonfalon bubble, making a giant hit into a double. Words that are heavy with nothing but trouble, Tinker to Evers to Chance. Yeah, Tinker to Evers to Chance.
We'll try to end this, but just like one of the speakers said, it's extra innings. It's it's not over till it's over. So I think we need a story about somebody in a movie and somebody. Jane Prince, come on up.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
No, don't be. I need to speak. Fourth one at that.
I didn't prepare for this, and I'll try to be really quick. And I told this story in part a couple of years ago. So if you were here and you remember, I'm really sorry. But I have to tell it tonight because my husband is here who plays for the Bluebirds.
All right, let's go.
And
Bluebird.
Julian Lascalzo, who is a baseball hot stove league guy that is also from our Bluebird team. So I have to recognize him. So here's the deal. My husband and Julian have been playing on what is called the Bluebird team after my husband's landscaping business, though he never paid $1 for the sponsorship. So just to be clear, he got the name, but he didn't have to put up any extra money.
He said it's not true.
What? He said it's not true? Well, maybe you did way back in the day when you were much wealthier than you are now. But also, the miracle of the Bluebird team is that our son was born in 1985, and the team's been playing since the late 70s, and my son grew up with the team. They kind of raised him, and now he is the player coach of the team. And they just won the 5th championship of the, and let me get this straight, the McMurray Field Wednesday night men's D-League. So, under the coach that they raised from a baby, they have won 5 championships in a row. So I have to tell this story because if you ran into Dave anywhere around town and you hadn't seen him in a while, the first thing he'd ask you would be, has Jane told you about my Grand Slam? So Dave was a very adequate player, and I was reasonably proud of him. And he was definitely, he definitely hit grounders, and he was kind of an in-the-field hitter, and he had this hit that I think is probably known to a lot of softball people as the tomahawk, where he'd hit it kind of down and it would deflect and he'd get on base with that. And often second because he's a very fast runner. And so one day I was getting off work and I was dressed up for some reason. I had heels on and everything, and I got to McMurray Field and I parked the car and I walked up on the side of the hill, and Dave is at the plate and the bases were loaded. And I thought, oh, shoot, this is going to be real. I mean, thinking of him, of course, I thought, this is going to be hard on him because he's not a long ball hitter. So I just, kind of said my little prayer and stood and watched him. And if he didn't hit that darn ball right way out into the outfield and scored his grand slam and came running off the field, getting the, slapping the hands of all his teammates, and there I was in this really nice outfit, and I had my hands up, and he turned around and celebrated some more. So I was feeling kind of bad about it. So years later, and this is the other reason I got up to tell this, is that Glenn Close's birthday is today.
Yes.
And you all remember, what was it, Roy Hodge and the Natural. And you remember the impact that Glenn had when she stood in the outfield, and Roy is really, the game depends on him. So it turns out she married one of my college friends, and I was at they've since divorced, but I went to a college gathering, and I got to go and have a drink with Glenn and my friend who married her. And so I said, Glenn, I have to tell you this story. It may not mean much to you, but... So I told her what I just told you about. There I am standing there with my really nice outfit on, and I played that up a little bit. And she said, and you were wearing your picture hat, which she was wearing that hat when she was standing in the outfield. And then I said, Dave hit the grand slam, and she was so happy for me and so lovely that she reacted as though it was, not just any stupid stranger sharing a funny anecdote. But anyway, so Mike had suggested I tell the Glenn Close story. I wanted to honor my husband, who's actually in attendance this year, and Julian. And I do want to say, remember his face, because when you see him around town, he'll ask you if you've heard about his grandson.
That's a great.
Wednesday night, my party Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the joy of baseball. Every once in a while, you get to be a hero, right? And today, a lot of heroes love this stuff.
Yeah, it's a great event.
We'll do it again next year, all right?
Lisa.
Back to it.